Hello, sports fans. This is Stephen Hill for JustMyPicks.com, and I'm bringing you a special NFL 2013 preview prediction show. I'm going to be breaking down each and every individual division for the NFC as I did the AFC, and I'm going to tell you who's going to be the worst to the best in each division. We're going to start out this show with the NFC North. The NFC North was a surprising division last season. I know I had picked the Bears to make the playoffs, and I didn't really see the Packers having such a great season as they did during the regular season. Coming into this season, we've seen a lot of changes. A lot of changes from the Chicago Bears with their coaching staff change. A lot of things changed for the Vikings. Percy Harvin is no longer a part of this division anymore. The Chicago Bears lost Brian Urlacher. It's just so many big changes. We saw Aaron Rodgers get his money up front, a whole lot of things. But starting at number 4, I'm going to pick the Chicago Bears to finish 4th in this division. It's just too many distractions for the Bears with them having a brand new coaching staff, them losing Brian Urlacher. I know that they've played sometimes without Brian Urlacher because he's been hurt, but when you lose a significant leader like that and you don't have anybody to back him up, and that is one of the key strengths of your team, I think this will create a diversion. I think that it will not only do that, you have players like Lance Briggs and Peanut Tillman and Jennings who will have to try to step up and overproduce. And by them doing that, I think that it'll cause a lot of overplaying and some misplays on defense, because when you're trying to replace Brian Urlacher, you're trying to replace a legend on defense for the Chicago Bears. He's one of the greatest linebackers in their era. Also, with their new coaching staff, I know that they're going to keep the defense, but it's not the same if Lovie Smith is not there. Lovie Smith is a great defensive coach. He learned under the tutelage of Tony Dungy and those great coaches in that pipeline. I just don't see the Bears having success. Also, Jay Cutler, this being his last year, I don't think the Bears are going to bring him back after this season because he's been a mediocre quarterback at best. One of the best Bears quarterback in history for the Bears, but going along for the goals and standards they had set when he first came, he just hasn't produced. But I do like Brandon Marshall on that team. Brandon Marshall is a deep threat receiver, a big guy who can go across the middle and also get some things done. Coming in at number 3, the Minnesota Vikings. I like some of the things they did in the draft with drafting the defensive tackle from Florida, also getting the wide receiver from Tennessee. The biggest thing for me is you let Percy Harvin go. That was a mistake for me. Percy Harvin is a game breaker. When he is healthy and when he's not complaining, he is just as explosive as Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson last year rewrote the record books and showed us all that you could come back and play very well after having a horrendous knee injury that he sustained against the Washington Redskins a season ago. But Adrian Peterson is going to be the know-all, be-all, end-all of that team. With Christian Ponder at the quarterback position, I just don't have faith as for them going deep down the field. I think it'll be the same thing. That defense is solid, and it will get even better if they sign Desmond Bishop or if they go along with E.J. Henderson as they have been in years past. I like the Vikings on defense, but their offense is stagnant. It keeps them in a position where they cannot score against good teams, which will cause them to lose football games in this. Adrian Peterson is the best offensive threat they have on that team, but I just don't see them being able to supply anything else, any other kind of offense to Adrian Peterson to get that 8th person out the box or get that 7th person out the box, because teams are going to key in on Adrian Peterson and strictly try to make them run the football and make Adrian Peterson only beat them every single game. Coming in at number 2 in this division of the NFC North, the Detroit Lions. I believe the Detroit Lions learned a lesson of being cocky with Ndamukong Suh, Fairley, all those guys. Adding Reggie Bush to offense is really explosive. If Reggie Bush can stay healthy, let's just say 12 to 14 games, this is going to make a positive impact. I expect that offense to be more explosive because you now have the threat of that running back coming back who was injured last year, plus Reggie Bush, plus you also have openings for other wide receivers to make a difference because of the wide receiver position with Nate Burleson coming back, and you also have, with Titus Young no longer being there, you have younger receivers that can step up and try to play and be on the field with Calvin Johnson and try to make a difference also. Matthew Stafford is a solid quarterback. He's coming into his own, has the big arm, one of the strongest arms in the NFL. Let's face it, nobody can stop Megatron. I'm not worried about Megatron getting his or Matthew Stafford getting the ball there. I'm worried about that offensive line. If Sue and Fairley and these guys on defense, I know they lost Cliff Averill, but they they have the young rookie out of BYU, they can mold him into something as a freak of nature. He already has the JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul body, the physical 6'4", 6'5" frame, lanky, very long, can get to the quarterback at any moment in time and can rush the passer very well. If he can learn some of those techniques from Ndamukong Suh and be more dominant and demand a double team, you're looking at a hellacious defense for the Detroit Lions. Coming in at number 1, let's face it, the Green Bay Packers. As long as they have Aaron Rodgers, they will be kings of this division. I know that they lost Greg Jennings to the Minnesota Vikings, but I don't see them being a threat in Minnesota. I see the Packers with Cobb, with Jordy Nelson, and possibly having Donald Driver come out of retirement. They have weapons still. They may not be the premium tight ends and things like that, but Jermichael Finley can ball. He's a mismatch for any defensive team threat, because you don't find 6'5" guys who can run like a wide receiver much anything else in the NFL at that tight end position. Also, adding Franklin and Jacob Lacey of the Alabama Crimson Tide to this team also gives them balance. Aaron Rodgers no longer has to throw the ball 40, 50, 60 times a game as we saw last season. Plus, this will take some of the opportunities he can do play action. They can use more of the run game to save his body from being hit late in the football game or a number of things. The only concern I have for the Packers is their defense. They cannot stop a lot of people on defense, but they can score with the best of them each and every game. I don't think that Greg Jennings being missed will cause a great impact, because they played a lot of last season without Greg Jennings and still almost went undefeated in the regular season. So we're looking at a Green Bay Packers team whose philosophy is changing on offense and on defense. So I think that Aaron Rodgers will be more fresher. I think his arm will be more rested throughout the season, and he'll be able to go to those younger guys as he did Cobb and a lot of those other guys later on in the year, because they'll have more experience. And plus, their schedule isn't as tough as a lot of these other contenders in the NFL. So I'm picking the Packers to win this division and also make the playoffs. You can check me out at justmypicks.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at justmypickstv. And you can also check out this video and all my other videos archived on YouTube /justmypickstv. Thank you very much for subscribing. Please comment and share all my videos. Thank you.